When you decide to edit a theme, there are some things you need to think about. These are some tips that, there are some things you need to think about. These are some tips that, that I kind of over time I've put together. You don't want to edit the original theme files. We've already talked about that. Now, I put on the end there if you can help it, and that's true. Sometimes you just can't help it. You need to back up your site files. That literally means that we're going to pick a plugin that is what's called a backup plugin and back up those files, or you can go up there to the files themselves in the directory and copy them. Okay, copy the theme so you don't mess it up. You gotta back up somehow at some point. This is kind of interesting, but if we want to replace a file, and we're going to see this in the second part, but if we want to replace a file, like we want to maybe do something to the header of the page, we're actually going to copy the header from the parent theme into the child. We'll go over this later, don't worry. But we're going to copy from the parent into the child a file, and the child is basically going to replace the parent. Okay, so sometimes there's the kind of interesting things that happen. We'll talk about it, don't worry. I also, honestly, you're not going to have to do this, but I'm paranoid. And I will a lot of times make a list of files that I've customized if later on I need to go back in. Now, this is if I had to go into the theme or do something that wasn't working, etc. Okay? The parent's functions are loaded. This is actually really interesting, too. When you work with the child, that functions.php file I was talking about that adds a lot of extra stuff, the parent is loaded first, and then the child functions is loaded. And they basically, parent's loaded first, child. The child adds to the functions from the parent. So they kind of all mush together and become one set of functions and stuff that you can do. Okay, that's the idea. We can also add a new file to the child theme if you want to. Like maybe we want to make a new template, like a new sidebar or something like that. We can easily do that, and we'll take a look at some of that. What to edit? This is key. Okay, this is actually really crucial because when we go in and we start to edit, this is sort of a hierarchy of editing. Okay, that I see. Okay, and I've found this in other sites too. If there's a theme option, if there's a theme option, use it. Okay, in most cases, use it because that way you don't have to go in and start hacking away at the code. If the customizer is there or the theme has options, edit them. Use CSS to manipulate the design. Okay, we can do that. We're going to do that in just a second here. I'm going to kind of take you through that. We're going to use styling for the child, which is going to override the parent. Okay, so that's the idea. If you want to make structural changes, we want to add like another sidebar, another menu, or something like that, which we're going to do in just a few minutes here. We're going to use that a new template file for the child theme, okay, or something else. Okay. We're also going to use a plugin. A plugin is where most of us start. Okay, if you want to add functionality, I want to edit the CSS. I want to do this. Everybody goes to plugins. I did it too. Okay, and it makes sense. I get it, and a lot of the functionality is awesome. But at some point, you're going to want to back away from that and maybe try that as a last resort, or at least not as your first resort. Okay, so these are just some things to think about. I thought I'd throw out there.